The utter whiplash I get from watching Lisa Frankenstein and seeing a movie with such heart and soul crafted by director Zelda Williams and screenwriter Diablo Cody. And then the next day going into Madame Web, which is, with no exaggeration, the worst movie I have ever seen in my entire life. Usually, I'd try my best to make these videos entertaining. I had a lot of funny cuts and try to do a lot of fun zooms and pushes and pulls. Not today. Not for Madame Web. Madame Web doesn't deserve that treatment. Never have I watched a movie in theaters where the entire time I felt so completely uninvested in everything that was going on. There was nothing remotely interesting about Madame Web. The whole time I was just waiting for the movie to be over. I just waiting for something interesting to happen. I could give you a plot synopsis and say it's about this character, Mrs. Webb, who had some tragedy with her mom and is now working on, now she can see the future, whatever. I don't know. The point is, it doesn't matter because nothing really happens in this movie. There's 3 teenage girls. She's kind of becoming into a parental role. They try to tie them together, but none of the characters are interesting. Nothing is interesting in this movie. I usually would like to point out actor performances or point out who wrote the movie or who directed the movie. But that would be doing them all a disservice because all I would be doing is critiquing. None of the performances were good. The directing wasn't good. The writing wasn't good. Nothing was funny. Nothing was terribly bad. And you might be thinking, well, how's this the worst movie you've ever seen if nothing was bad? Well, there's 2 types of bad movies. I'm sure you've heard this before. One is the type of movie that is so bad it's good, like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where it's so ridiculously not well made that you can sit back and have a good time. Madame Web is the type of movie. It's so bland. It's so cookie cutter. It's so uninspired. It's so boring that you can't even pretend to have a good time with this movie because nothing invests me. And if a movie doesn't invest you at all, you might as well be watching paint dry, which is how I felt watching Madame Web. This movie is a disgrace to superhero movies. This movie is a disgrace to cinema in general. This movie is so horrid and boring and just terrible and does nothing new. It is so unimaginably uninspired. And it felt like no one had any passion for this project, whether it be the actors, the directors, the writers. I don't know whose fault that is. It could be the studio just wanting to fart this movie out and people didn't care, or they did care and the movie got changed in post. Who knows? I sure as hell am not going to look it up and find out because this movie was a waste of my time. And please, almighty God, don't let it be a waste of your time as well. With that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later.